This is a long stretch of pavement, so there are 3 sections of that pavement, and some of it, the youngest, is about 20 years old. I was in the field when it was built, got to inspect it. Some of it is in excess of 40 years old. The problem was the surface friction or lack thereof on the pavement surface, so that we're trying to restore that, or we're trying to increase that surface friction. What was planned for all of these sections, a thin overlay of a hot mix over that concrete pavement. This is pavement in an urban area, so anytime you have an overlay, you're affecting your vertical clearances with any bridges that go over that facility, which we have a few. So that's one of the benefits. We don't have that issue with this process. We have potential for that issue with overlay. This process, I didn't realize it at the time, but understand is new to this area. It's certainly to the state. They've done more diamond grinding in the northern states where they have a problem with their pavements experiencing wear because of tire chains and studded tires. We don't tend to have that problem. Diamond grinding there's nothing new about that. Traditionally, the way it's worked is the contractor, our contractor, has called in a diamond grinding subcontractor when they've had smoothness issues with brand new pavement. So they pay a subcontractor, the diamond grinder, to come out and grind off those high spots and make that concrete pavement much smoother. This is a lesser process for a much lesser cost, where we're only asking for the texture improvement. This is cheaper by far. It's about half the cost of an overlay is what we estimated. However, the bids came in a little better than we expected, so it is a little less than half the cost, and on this project we believe we're saving about $3 million. One of the big appeals to our director of maintenance was he is not locked in with his limited forces and budgets to a maintenance cycle for flexible pavements, which tends to be shorter than what he has to expend on most of our concrete pavements. So I think to him, to our director of maintenance, that was the biggest draw. Once RTI heard about this, the construction division and the research and technology implementation office heard about it, they contacted the district and expressed an interest in taking some measurements and putting together a research project, and we're glad for it, because it's going to provide us a lot of data that we wouldn't have had otherwise. We have some measurements that were taken before the job was started, so that we know what the condition was in the beginning. We have some friction measurements, we have some sound measurements, and we have some smoothness measurements. So we've got all those things. As part of the research project, they're going to come back, I believe, a year after construction, and then finally 2 years after construction, and repeat those measurements. So we'll have quite a bit of data, and we'll know how this stuff is performing. There's been a dramatic increase in the friction once they ground the pavements. Now, that's really not a surprise. You'd expect that dramatic increase. But as vehicles wear this pavement, wear that diamond grinding, that friction number is going to slowly start to decrease. What we'd like to see is where it levels off, and it should basically hold a value and then be stable for a number of years. That's what we're really interested in, and nobody knows exactly where that'll be yet, but through the research project, we'll get an idea. Once this process has been complete and we have a little experience, I think it'll be beneficial for everybody, and I kind of look forward to doing it again.